This is part two of a two-part episode where I interview the folks from the Illinois Freedom Alliance, and it's all brought to you by Griner Auto Body of Washington, Iowa, using state-of-the-art techniques and decades of experience to get your car back on the road after an accident. Car Doctor of Washington, Iowa. No matter who Frankensteined it, they can fix and clean and customize it. McDonald Boneyard of Keota, Iowa, for all of your farm equipment and auto recycling needs. Hinshaw Trailer Sales of Richland, Iowa. You need a trailer? They've got your trailer, and they fix what they sell and don't in their full-time repair shop. Girling Repair of Winfield, Iowa. If your mower is dead, call Fred, your Husqvarna, Aaron's, and Gravely dealer. B&B Propane and the family of Jet Stops present Southeast Iowa Today. I'm John Bain, author of Christie's Journey, The Beat Goes On, and your host. Let's get right to part two. Okay, we are back with part two of the Illinois Freedom Alliance. And in part one, we were just wrapping up part one, Annette, and we were talking about mail-in ballots, and you had a train of thought that you wanted to then start on part two. So you've got the floor.
Okay, so HB Bill 4198 is going through the process, and it says mail-in ballots across the state. Well, we FOIA'd the county clerks a few weeks ago for their contracts, that any contracts they have, any purchase orders from since 2018 to now about their machines, any equipment used in the polling places or during the voting, the counting the ballots. Mm-hmm. Well, look, we haven't even got them all. Okay.
Holy cow.
Okay, now just listen to this. The amount of money that's being spent in this, let's see, this one has total equipment cost is $211,820. That's Clark County.
Is that one purchase?
Yeah, that's just some supporting equipment, a tabulator. We already have 10 digits we can tabulate, but we're going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. Not only do they spend $211,000 on the equipment, they spent $37,000 on supporting equipment annual fees of $13,550.
Now,
county.
let me stop.
That's
one county. So
That's
where
one-
does that one county get all that money from?
From the vote, from the citizens, from me and
Your
you.
tax?
So,
Yeah.
so when you're paying your property tax, folks, and your school tax and every other tax, they're taking that money to spend on this stuff.
Yeah.
And at the tune of
Yeah.
that, just one example of
Yeah.
$211,000. Well, where I come from, $211,000 is a lot of money. And the problem is you can't grow money out in a field that's just dollar bills. Right. And
Yeah.
so when you take those dollar bills
it's
and put a
unbelievable.
211,000 there, that's 211,000 that's not going somewhere else.
Out of your
Right,
county
and there's
budget.
Out of your county
And
budget.
there's all kinds of money that's got to be being passed around behind the scene, underneath it all. But it seems like most of them have been very, very thorough in what they've sent back to us. But Rock Island County, the county clerk there said that her name's Karen Kenny. You might want to give her a call. She said that it's really basically none of our business.
And that's the county we're sitting in right now, in
Right
Moline,
now,
Illinois,
Rock
is
Island
part of
County.
Rock Island County.
Right, yes, Karen Kenny, who instead of working with groups like ours, instead decides that she's got to constantly fight against us when we're working on election integrity in our own county. So
It's really something.
yeah.
Well, they don't call Rock Island County Little Chicago for nothing. That's pretty much where it is. It's Democrat controlled, although a majority of the population in the county, it's pretty evenly split between Democrat, Republican in that regards.
But it seems to not be on election day.
No. No, it's pretty amazing on election day. I mean, as an election judge, when we run the tapes off and stuff in these precincts, we can see how things are going. And Republicans/conservatives on election day are big. The turnout, the vote is there, it's big. But it generally seems to be along about 9:30 in the evening or so, as the totals are being totaled up, all of a sudden across the board, across the ballot, you see a major flip. And that is usually a warning sign that something is.
I think they say that's when
fixed.
that's when they put in the mail-in ballots.
That's when they claim
Yeah.
they put in the
And that's
mail-in
when that's
ballots.
where so many different people, a lot smarter than us, have found
Yeah.
that those they determine how many they need at that point.
So then that means, okay, do they actually count all the mail-in ballots, or do they just stop there because they know they got enough?
No,
Good
there's,
question.
yeah, we it's,
You know, if
Who
you
knows?
follow the percentages, it seems to be a 30% difference all across the counties.
Well, I just
Something
know
to
when
look
I
at.
went to bed in November 2020, Donald Trump was going to have his second term.
Exactly.
When I woke up, that was not the case. And I'm going to say it right here, sleepy Joe Biden became our president. And I can go back. I'm old enough to remember 4.5, 5 years ago. And I can say, without a doubt, that our country is not better off than it was.
not.
no.
And we've got the same two candidates for president. And I still have people that I know that I love dearly in my life that think Joe Biden's fine. They just can't stand Donald Trump. And when you ask them why they can't stand Donald Trump, and you present them with the fact that the economy was better, you had cheaper fuel prices, we were exporting our oil for the very first time, our strategic oil reserves were the highest they've ever been. Those have been depleted now with President Biden. Our border was secure. We had more people of all ethnicities employed in the United States, less people on the government doles. I can go on and
Foreign policy.
our,
was
yeah,
much
we
better.
were respected around the world, and sometimes feared. And you know what? It's not bad to be feared sometimes.
And we were building that big, beautiful wall.
Yes. So, and yet people will not. If you engage with someone who is supporting Joe Biden, even through all this, and you give them those facts, they just get emotional and don't want to have the conversation anymore. I don't understand that. And I don't want to go way off on a tangent because I know we're talking about voter integrity and stuff as well. But one other thing I want to mention is you held up, you can count on your fingers. We don't have to spend $210,000 on one machine. And one of the United States' oldest allies in the world, France, went away from voting machines and are hand counting, and they're getting their elections counted in one day and getting the results. Why can't we do that?
We can.
Yeah, we
This
can.
Saturday.
And we're teaching people how to teach the class on Saturday, and watch our website and our social media sites, because we're going to be conducting mock elections this summer with no machines.
Wow.
None.
Using this hand counting method, which is very
1, 2,
easy.
3, 4.
Yeah, the method that we've kind of aligned with is out of Osage County, Missouri, a group called Missouri Counts. Linda Rance is the head of that organization.
Brilliant lady.
And she's figured out a way how to do all of this stuff. Now, granted, Missouri laws are different than Illinois laws. They can start counting ballots 1 hour after the polls open. Unlike Illinois, which polls have to be closed, they say, before they start counting ballots. That's a crock. They're already counting ballots that are mailed in and stuff like that. They're just waiting to dump them in the evening. But it's a simple process to do it, and they can clear approximately 100 ballots an hour with a team. And a team consists of 4 people, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. You've got a Republican Democrat that read the ballot. You got a Republican Democrat that tally up the numbers. And if there's any question, somebody thinks they may have slightly messed up, they can go back with that group of 100 and go quickly back through it to see where there may have been a mistake. So if you're looking at 100 ballots an hour, And this is all done at the precinct level. It's not done in a county clerk's office, you know, so
Your neighbors count your votes.
people can observe, you
Right.
know, you do this right at the polling place. If we
Yeah.
could get the laws changed in
6 foot
Illinois.
table.
Yeah, people
They
can watch
walk-
it all being done.
Yeah, as they cast their ballot and they put them in the ballot box, they're walking by, and over at the other end of the room are people counting ballots. And, you
And
know,
they say, what's
and
the-
even in a, you know, even in a separate room that they can look in the door, and see how things are going. So it works out simple in that respect, and depending on your population, you just add the
That's what I
number
was
of
getting
team
to.
of fours that
Yeah.
you need to do. So the argument comes down, let's take Chicago. You know, there's, what, 5.7 million, 5.2 million people in Chicago. Oh, that'd take way too long, it'd take weeks to do it. No,
It's-
you're doing it at the precinct level,
Mhm.
and you adjust by the number of teams that you need to do your tallying, and you can get down. In Osage County, when they first did this thing, hand counting, it only took them 20 minutes longer to do it than it did to run it through the tabulating machines.
And it was accurate.
And it was accurate.
Every time.
They went through and ran everything through a second time to see. Hand counting came up with the exact same total. The machine, the tabulator, came up with a different total. They didn't do hand counting the second time, but they ran it through a third time through the tabulator, came up with a third total. So, you know, we've got even our state GOP trying to tell us, well, you know, people make mistakes, and that's it. And that's the big thing against hand counting. Everybody says people make mistakes.
Yeah, they
The
make,
machines.
you know,
are-
and
It's
the
not
biggest
big.
mistake sometime is who they vote in.
Yeah, you got that one
I
right.
mean, if you ever had to, you know, the scanning, just to think that they're scanning a ballot. I mean, if you've ever tried to scan a document and put it in another file or something, you lose resolution. You lose, or the OCR.
The old
The
OCRs.
old RCRs where it would translate it all and stuff like that.
Cattywampus.
But if that's not in there exactly right, or if the machine is set up for 95% instead of 100, it's not going to line up. And those ballots, they go. You cannot go back and say, "Hey, whose ballot was this? I need you to send it in again."
Right.
You can't, because the ballots don't tell you whose ballot it is.
Now, something that I have noticed both as an observer and an election judge, that when we take the ballots out of the tabulator, we have to search through the ballots to look for write-ins. Separate any ballot that's got a write-in name on there in any one of the races, and we have to isolate them. They will be put on top of the pile of ballots. They're the first ones to get looked at, see if they've got valid write-ins on them. But doing that, we've also found people that instead of just filling in the circle, they've either done an X or they've done a check mark, sometimes a little bit out of that oval. The tabulator took it. They had enough black in the oval that the machine counted it.
But yeah, but if
But
you're
it's
sitting,
not the way they're supposed to be filling out their ballot.
And then that.
yeah, but if you were sitting at a table and you can share it with, I can go, "Hey, Republican, I'm a Democrat.
Yeah.
Hey, which one do you think? What was the intent of this voter?" You can discuss it
This
That's
reminds
with
me
the-
of
that's
a,
with the hand
with the
counting,
hand
yes.
counting, but when the machine,
Yeah.
it just goes.
and this reminds me of back in the 2000 presidential election with
Hanging chads.
Bush and Gore and the hanging
It
chads.
reminds me of that
Yeah.
all the time.
And is that a dimple,
Yeah,
or is that actually a vote and all this?
it's the same thing,
yeah.
because when it goes into a bin, who is sitting there saying this? What was this voter's intent? You don't know. You don't see that conversation. It's not
Right.
done in public.
So, on the eve of the Illinois primary, do you three individuals have confidence that tomorrow's primary election will be handled properly?
No.
Not at the county level.
The only thing that you can do is show up in person, because that's the only thing that's going to throw off whatever is being planned, whatever's nefarious is going on. What were you? I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, as an observer and an election judge, I don't believe there's any kind of fraud that goes on at the polling site. It generally, if there's any fraud to
At
be done.
yours.
Yeah, well, for the most part, I would say anything, it's any location. Where the fraud goes on is at the county clerk's office where they tabulate the votes. And I
Or
think if
into-
they
Well, and I
would-
think in the polling place, it's not, I don't really think it's fraud that's going on there, but there's
No.
a lot of illegal activity that goes on because of people not knowing. There's a lot of things that go on in the polling places.
There's
that-
even a
because
candidate
they
that
aren't
walks
trained.
in with his T-shirt on
Right.
and campaigns at
Right.
the polling place or
Yeah.
right
Right.
outside the door, which legally they can't be within 100 feet.
Right, that
of
sort of
entrance.
things, but I don't, I agree that
Yeah.
the poll workers are as good as they're trained and as passionate as they are. I mean, these poll watchers and election judges have very long days and they do an excellent job.
Yep, they do.
And this leads into what's going to happen with ranked choice voting. That's another nightmare. How many states are on that already? I think Alaska was on it.
And now they're
There's
trying to
3.
get out of it.
And what is that exactly?
Well, ranked choice
He's
voting,
got
what
this.
it does is when you have a race, and we'll say presidential race, you've got 5 candidates running for the office. What the voter is asked to do is do their first choice, mark their second choice, right on down the line to however many candidates there are. Now, when the votes are tallied,
Oh, that just seems stupid.
yeah, well,
I mean,
it is-
there's one
it is-
person that
yeah.
that you want to vote for. Why are you saying, well, if the rest of you like this other person, and well, okay, he's my second choice. No.
well, let me get
List the
into
rest.
this a
Okay,
little
so
while.
Sorry
It's
for
better.
my interruption.
No, that's all right.
No,
And
please.
having observed your caucuses over in Iowa this past
Oh
January.
yeah, that was fun going to see that. I hadn't seen that before.
Ranked choice voting is a little like that. However, if in your caucus situation, if a candidate does not have the majority to win, you come back out and everybody pleads their case again, and everybody gets a chance to vote again. And they can change their vote if they want to.
And in my caucus precinct, we didn't have that issue.
Yeah,
Donald Trump won.
I was disappointed. I didn't get to see that process
Yeah,
take
yeah,
place.
yeah.
You know, to hear people do the stump speeches again. But in ranked choice voting, you're going to have people that, well, I just want to vote for this person, or they don't understand the rules. You know, they may only vote for 2 or 3. Now, if in ranked choice voting, if no candidate is a clear 50% plus 1 winner, then they go back and they will take they will take the lowest vote getter and knock them out. And of course, when they go out, that person who that was the first choice for, their votes go out. But everybody else's votes then go to their second choices. And their second choices are assigned to the candidates. And if, again, nobody hits better than 50%, they may have 1 or they may have 2 candidates that tied for low vote. They're thrown out. They're eliminated. And everybody who's voted for them has gone away. So now the only people that remain are the ones whose candidates are still in the race. And then they go to their third choice of candidate. So ranked choice voting, they try to tell you that everybody gets a chance and everybody gets a choice. That's not true, because it is not one person, one vote in that. You're going to have the people whose candidates stay in the race through the subsequent counting are actually getting 2 or 3 votes towards who the candidate's going to win.
That sounds like something Nikki Haley was trying to do.
Yeah, well, and you know, it's crazy. Now, Illinois has had several bills introduced in the House and the Senate on ranked choice voting, either for state elections. We do have 2 municipalities in the state of Illinois, Springfield, Illinois, in Evanston, Illinois, that do ranked choice voting at the city level, municipal level. There are also a couple of bills, one on each side of the House, that would be ranked choice voting for the presidential primary. What that would in fact do in Illinois, it's a partisan primary. So you have to declare whether you're Democrat or Republican. If you're an independent voter or you're a libertarian, there's nothing for you to vote for.
You have to be a spy and
You
change.
have to,
Change your
you
affiliation.
have to claim one or the other to be able to do any kind of a vote. But from that standpoint, a presidential primary that would be ranked choice voting, all the candidates would be lumped together in the presidential race. And
I want to make a bet with you.
they would look at the top two vote getters now, hear me out.
Okay.
The top two vote getters. Now, we've seen this in Georgia, you've seen it in Alaska, where you can end up with the top two candidates are from the same party. So in effect, you've knocked one party completely out of it. Not to mention, if there's a libertarian running nationally, you've taken them out of it. So it's a crazy deal. It goes completely against
Sounds like
how our
communism.
Constitution,
Well,
how our Constitution is set up.
my bet that I wanted to make with you
Yeah.
is I bet whoever came up with that idea is pro participation trophies for children.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody gets a prize.
Everybody gets a prize because we don't want to make anybody feel
Well,
upset
it's,
that they're losers.
True.
It is another avenue of manipulating the votes.
Yeah,
And that's not right. Now, to be fair, on the other side, on the conservative side, there are bills, a couple of bills in the Illinois legislature that would outlaw ranked choice voting. So at this point in time, they established a committee, a task force on ranked choice voting to look at how it would be applied, how the software for the machines would be
Machines.
and yeah, it means more machines
And they gotta do more complicated
software.
It'll take longer to count them.
It's going to be harder to make sure that your candidate wins by exactly 28% in every county.
let's just have people do it the old-fashioned way and
Exactly.
hand
Yeah.
count these things.
Yeah.
Now I have to.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to my audience. I am very blessed. My analytics tell me from Spotify and YouTube, I've got like audience from 6 different countries in the world. We've got people in the UK, Germany, Mexico, Canada, Israel, which amazed me with everything that's going on over there, and of course the United States. So what I want to do is our foreign audience, foreign to the United States, this is freedom, our 246-year experiment that we have, or 248-year experiment, I meant to say, almost, is alive and well. And these people are participants in it, and they're encouraging the citizens of Illinois, and not just the citizens of Illinois, but of the United States, to participate in the political process. And we're saying to our friends that I mentioned in those other countries, do the same in yours. And hopefully the United States will stay out of your politics and let you do your thing, and we
Exactly
do
right.
our thing.
Yeah. And to your viewers in Germany, guten Tag, wie geht es Ihnen?
Yeah, I spent 2 tours. I was there for 2 tours. You were too, right?
Wow.
I'd like to just do a save the date announcement.
Sure.
On April 27th at the Holiday Inn in Peoria, we're having an all-day Grassroots Rising event. Our speakers are all Illinois grassroots leaders, and we're going to be talking about a lot of tough subjects. We'll be talking about the sanctuary cities. We're going to talk about the gun rights, free speech, and a lot about what people can do. Okay, just so that everyone can contribute something. That's my motto. Everybody's got a certain skill that they can use that can help this movement. And I would invite you to sign up for our email list at IllinoisFreedomAlliance.us, and you'll get information about that event as soon as we announce it in the next few days.
Awesome. Now I want to. You folks have given me a lot of time, and I could talk and listen to you for many hours, but I know that you got to kick me out of here so you can get back and do what you do. But if someone would like to donate to help, because the lights don't run without paying a
You
bill.
should mention that.
Yeah, tell us how we can have people
Okay,
donate.
The way that we earn money just to keep a brick and mortar store and to keep functioning is through our magazine subscriptions, our magazine sales, magazine advertisers. Memberships also is another way, and donations, of course, we always free for donations, and some of our training.
Now, can they write that off in their taxes, the donations?
No.
No? Okay.
We're a
Not for us.
501c4.
Okay.
So it's not tax deductible. But our memberships are just $50 or $100 for a year.
And let's face it, folks, in these days of Bidenomics, you're going to spend that much when you go out for lunch practically.
Fill your gas tank.
Yeah, exactly.
And the memberships do include a subscription to the Quarterly Grassroots magazine. You get a bumper sticker, you get a membership decal that you could put on your vehicles.
Okay.
And plus access, we're working on it behind the firewall access on our website for members only.
Okay.
So there'd be a little bit more information on there.
Well,
And more than money, I mean, money's really important.
Yeah.
But we do, I mean, Arlene's our treasurer, and she's tight with our money. We're not wasting a nickel. Time, donation of time and skills is what we need. And you can call our office. Our core hours are 10 to 4 and the number is 309-377-1776. And you can stop by.
that's easy to remember.
Yeah. 309-377-1776. And then we're here from 10 to 4 at our headquarters in Moline, 1529 46th Avenue, Suite 6 in Moline, right next to Century Pool.
Okay. And that's just, and South Park Mall is just about
Just
2
to
blocks
the
away.
east.
Yeah, just
2
east.
blocks to the east.
Yeah.
And John, if I may add something else,
Uh-huh.
one of the things that we've been working with, another organization, the Parents Matter Coalition. Yeah, hold it up there. Any of your Illinois viewers, this is for Illinois viewers only, but go to parentsmattercoalition.org. This is what you see in the blue is the advisory question that they would like to get on the November ballot. They need 500,000 signatures to get that done. They have to be collected.
Go ahead and read that, will you, Mike?
I will read this.
That blue and blue?
The advisory question that would be put on the ballot, and it would be non-binding, but it would be telling our legislators what the people of the state of Illinois would want to see. It reads, shall the written consent of a minor's parent or guardian be required before any entity, person, clinic, or school can provide a minor, person under the age of 18 years, any non-emergency medical procedure, medication, pharmaceutical, or any gender modification procedure, gender identification, gender affirming counseling, or gender therapy. Right now, there's a House Bill 4876 that unfortunately would list parents and legal guardians as child abusers if they deny any gender affirming counseling and therapy for their children.
What the viewers can't see right now is me shaking my head. No, I can't believe that.
This is
We
absolutely,
can't- yeah.
it is immoral. I mean, we're on a fast slide down. But Tracy Smodella up there at Parents Matter Coalition out of Wheaton, Illinois, they've been working really hard on that. We've collected a lot of signatures on it. And if you just take one, you can download them off their website, download the instructions with them. And again, Illinois residents only. You can get 10 signatures easily on there and then mail it into them. We recommend that you get them in the mail by April 10th so that they're in their offices by April 15th. There's a reason why Postal Service is called snail mail. So, but this is a really important thing in Illinois, and it is an important thing across the country.
It sure
And
is.
we hope that through this initiative, groups in other states will take the same thing up and do it for their states. Iowa's pretty much blessed on how you guys have operated over there and doing pretty well. But, we're encouraged to see that, what goes on in Iowa. And please, Parents Matter Coalition.
Well, thank you. I'm encouraged. It was wonderful to have the conversation with you
Thank
three.
you very much, John.
Arlene, Annette, and Mike, thank you so much. The Illinois Freedom Alliance. Folks, check out their website. And if you're sitting there watching Wheel of Fortune or whatever you do, get your butt off the chair and do something.
Thank you.
As you can tell, the folks at the Illinois Freedom Alliance are working hard for you. And I want to thank them, and I also want to thank our sponsors, Griner Auto Body, Car Doctor, Hinshaw Trailer Sales, McDonald Boneyard, Girling Repair, B&B Propane, and the family of Jet Stops. I'm your host, John Bain. Stay friendly, Southeast Iowa.